Buongiorno YouTube, this is Ardwulf and welcome to Ardwulf Presents. We are coming to you today from Cryptic Studios' game Neverwinter, which is an MMORPG free-to-play that is loosely based on the Dungeons & Dragons 4th edition rules set. This video is going to cover character creation. We will have more on Neverwinter in future videos. Just so you know, today is the official soft launch of the game for everybody, so it is technically an open beta, but there will be no wipes. So you can now get in on this game. So we're going to create a character here, and I think those of you viewers who are familiar with Cryptic Studios character creators in Champions Online and Star Trek Online will find this much more limited. But let's check it out. We first choose a server. I'm not sure why there are even shards in this thing. There aren't in Champions or Star Trek. I guess we'll randomly pick the Beholder server. And we have an opening cinematic. I actually haven't seen this before, even though I played in the previous beta. This is, of course, set in the Forgotten Realms, and it does have some relationship to previous games in the Neverwinter Nights line, which were, of course, by different studios. Of course, I have the volume turned way down so you can hear me talk. That's why you're here, right? Pretty typical production values for video game opening cinematics nowadays. I don't know why that woman just cut her own armor off. I'm not sure that makes any strategic sense whatsoever. The tiefling looks cool though. The city in the background is the city of Neverwinter itself. Most of the game's action is set in and around Neverwinter. In a design choice that is weirdly similar to D&D Online from Turbine, the game Neverwinter is oddly similar in a number of ways, and yet it plays completely differently. But curiously, a lot of the same types of design decisions were made. That would be the cleric. That would be the Great Weapon Fighter. So this is some kind of villain that I believe you do see in the opening quest. This cinematic's a little bit longer than I expected it to be. But it's now fortunately over. So we'll start, all the races are, well, except this guy here. This is presumably, the coming soon race is presumably the Drow. So we'll pick more or less at random. We'll pick a male, first of all. We'll make him a dwarf. And down here you'll find all of the special abilities that apply to your race. The ability scores you'll have to pick. We'll get to that in a moment. We'll pick a character class. There is a coming soon class, but there are 5 currently available, so we'll talk about those very quickly. There's the Trickster Rogue. There's the Devoted Cleric. Both of whom behave more or less like you would expect rogues and clerics to in an MMO. There's the Control Wizard, which you ought to be able to figure out how that works. I've played quite a bit of that. Whereas there's the Great Weapon Fighter, and there's the Guardian Fighter, who obviously is the more tanky guy. We will pick the Great Weapon Fighter. Here are the special abilities that he starts with. And we will continue. I do not intend to fool around and take a ton of time doing this. I would like to keep the video as reasonably sized as possible. So down here we choose which racial ability bonus set we get. So in this case, we're at +2 con, +2 wisdom, which would be great for the Devoted Cleric. For the Great Weapon Fighter, the +2 con, +2 strength makes a lot more sense. So we'll figure that out. We'll pick that one. We'll re-roll until we get scores that we like. These are not strictly random, as far as I can tell. There's clearly some kind of algorithm that is distributing the points somehow, because you'll see that if we have a 20 strength in our prime requisite, we're always going to have a 15 and maybe a 13 in the next 2. So there's some kind of algorithm figuring those out. I'm going to have to be happy with this. We will get a chance throughout the course of play to increase those scores. We will pick a face preset, which you don't have to. You can just hit customize. Now, I like to start with the hair, so we'll start with the hair. We'll zoom in a little bit. We'll pick the color. Make him kind of dark-haired. That's not so bad. Faux hawk. Dreads. There's actually, I think there's I could be nuts, but there's actually seems like there's a bigger selection here now than there was in the last round of beta that I played in. That's some sort of a weird reflective effect. I want his skin to be a little paler than that. There's also some pretty nice scars that you can pick. Of course, we won't be starting in gear that looks like this either. So we'll fool with the beard. Very important for dwarves. There's not. I wouldn't call this the sort of dwarf beard selection that I'm 100% happy with, to be honest about it. The epic beard, for example, is okay, but I wish there was more of a selection. Let's go with that. And we can pick some like facial tattoos here. We can adjust some scars. We can adjust also body shape. So you can make him a little slimmer, you can make him a little heavier, which of course he's a dwarf, so he ought to be as stocky as possible as far as I'm concerned. And you can change other things like the eye color, the specific shape of the eyebrows. We should of course give him bushy eyebrows because, you know, he's a dwarf and all that. That would be like drawn on eyebrows, I guess. We could change different features of the face here too, which this particular one doesn't appear to be doing a whole lot, but brow height ought to do something, yeah. There we go. That's good. I can make him look pissed. Or, but, hey, what's going on? So we'll go with that. We're going to continue. This is an interesting little bit that you pick during Neverwinter character creation. It doesn't have any effect on gameplay, at least right now. This actually says up here that it doesn't have any effect on gameplay. But it's kind of a cool item just for character color. So we're going to pick. We can pick a deity. And this doesn't seem to have... That there are deities does have some effect on gameplay, actually, but with a specific deity you pick doesn't seem to do anything. We're going to pick Torm, just because I know the Forgotten Realms deities relatively well. We're going to choose to be from Waterdeep, which is a big city to the south. And we'll pick Up-and-Coming Immigrant. We can choose all these different locations. We can choose to be from Baldur's Gate, for example, and have different little backgrounds from each one. It's actually kind of neat. And here we will go to the summary, which talks about here's our class, here's our race, here's our ability scores, here's our little background and our religion, and we can actually put this biography in here too, but I've never personally seen anybody who does that, except me, but we're not going to do it today. So we're going to call him Agrar, and we're going to start playing. And that process has taken us to level 1, so we will zone into the world. As usual, I will show you the load screens and how long they are. They're not too bad.
Look out!
And we're going to get a little brief cinematic here. This one I have seen before.
Hey, are you alright?
And we're in the game.
Using the W, A, S, and D keys.
And getting roughly voiced tutorial hints. So I hope you've enjoyed checking out this video.
Wilfred. Press F when close to talk to him.
Oh, shut up, Private Wilfred. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel. We have more coming, and there's a bunch more videos already in the channel. Down in the notes below, you will find links to my website at ardwulfslair.wordpress.com, plus links to follow me on Twitter and Facebook and Google+. So do all those things. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.